Hey guys, Arm&Gun here. Tonight we have the M60 Beltfed semi-automatic machine gun here tonight. This is the Mark 43 Mod 1 configuration. I'm going to disassemble it for you guys, and then in a couple days we'll upload the general Gun 101 overview. I'll go through all the features, mechanics, things like that. It'll be a good time. Anyways guys, the last video in the series was the shooting video. I went through all the shooting controls, operational things like that. It was a good time. Go check it out if you want to see that. Today's video, again, is going to be exclusively the disassembly process, and then, of course, as always, for these tabletop, I've got a bonus gun for you guys at the end. It's another Beltfed, so good times. This is, of course, a 308 or 7.62 NATO Beltfed gun. This is all 7.62 NATO. Good surplus from Austria, Österreich, and then this is just a generic 308. You can see next to a 7.62 by 39 and a 5.56. Again, just for size comparison. Kind of fun to see that kind of stuff. Anyways, guys, as always, anytime you have a firearm, double check that it's clear. So we're gonna pop open our feed cover here, top cover, lift up our feed tray, and pull back the bolt to inspect the chamber, proving it is unloaded, and you're good to go. Now this is, again, is the Mark 43 Mod 1 or E4 Mod 1 version, a little bit different from the original insofar as it's been updated. It's a little more modernized. This model features the carry handle integral to the barrel itself. We'll get into that. And then the bipod is actually attached along with the handguard to the receiver itself. Not, the original guns, the Pig M60s. They had the bipods attached to the barrel and not the handguard. It was kind of backwards. Glad they saw the light there because this is now a much better design. So the first step in the disassembly process for your M60 is this little yoke back here. You're gonna pop this guy out just like that. That's gonna allow you to remove your buttstock. There's gonna be a little bit of spring tension on this, not too much, just kind of wiggle it back and forth, up and down, pop it off, and that'll come off as an assembly. You do have your buffer in here as well. That just lifts up out of a little groove in there and then pops out, and there's your buffer. And let me tell you, this thing is stiff. This is like, I'm putting all my weight into it. I'm just barely getting it to press down. This is a tough buffer. Anyways, here's a quick look inside. You can see a little bit of that groove in there where the buffer sits. Now this also has a shoulder thing that goes up, otherwise known as a barrel shroud by the uninformed that tell the rest of us how to live our lives. That's all right though. So there's that. We'll go into more detail with this on the Gun 101 video coming up next. Now we'll pull out our drive rod and our drive rod spring, which just kind of goes right over the drive rod. That's just chilling back there. And as you see, this is actually what interacts with the buffer. That just kind of sits in there like that, and that's how that assembly works inside the gun. Okay, next up, we'll coax our bolt assembly and op rod out. We'll just slide that on back. And at this point, you can push it all out. Now, at this point, you're going to realize it looks a little different from your traditional M60, or your traditional full auto M60, and that being the semi-automatic. This is actually a little trigger mechanism back here, and the firing pin is currently cocked and ready to go. Kind of neat. Otherwise, it's going to look very similar. There's some very minor differences. No, you cannot fit full auto parts in here, but nonetheless, she's a pretty good time. Now, again, this is going to look pretty similar. Your bolt's going to pop right off your op rod there. Just like that. Pretty simple stuff. Set that aside for now. Here's a look at your op rod. And you'll notice it's milled just smooth on the bottom. There are no sear notches in there, nor are there the provision to add any because it's all been milled down up from the front there. One of the modifications Desert Ordnance made to appease the ATF in allowing this thing to be a, well, semi-automatic version, not readily transferable to a full auto gun. Apparently that worked for the RCMP lab up in Canada as well, because for whatever reason, they allowed us Canuck bastards up here to have them as well. Anyways, now let's get the barrel out. I showed you guys how to do this in the shooting video as well. No worries there, it's nice and easy. We basically got this little barrel latch right here. You just push this spring-loaded catch in, flip up this tab, and she's good to go. Now again, the nice thing with the M60 E4s, you got this little handy-dandy carry handle. You can just pull it right out. Versus the M60 E1s, you basically had to get your, get a mitt around a toasty hot barrel, presumably if you're changing the barrel out, it's because it's cooking hot. But you get that up around there, messing around with all the bipod and everything, and then kind of just janking it under the gun. Not ideal. This way you can see everything that's going on. You can pull it right out, and she's just out of there. And now, of course, you can disassemble the barrel, pull the barrel out, change it out without pulling all the other guts out of the gun. That's not necessary. And again, I demonstrated that in the shooting video. All you really have to do to get the barrel out is to retract the bolt, hold it to the rear. A little easier to do on a full auto gun because you just pull it to the rear and it stays there. For a semi-automatic gun, you gotta pull it there and you gotta hold it because this doesn't have a last round bolt hold open, because this doesn't take magazines and it doesn't have a bolt catch. Because being a semi-automatic version, it is specifically designed to fire from the closed bolt. All right, guys, that's your basic field strip. Let's just go into a little bit more detail here. We can also get the top cover off, the feed tray, and the trigger mechanism, grip, whatnot. So we'll start off with the top cover here. Grab the tip of a bullet. Basically, all you have here is a two-piece pin, and the first one is just a little snap catch. You just push it up, and push it in. And it's gonna pop through the other side. Nice and easy. There's that pin there. All right, now we've got this other side of the pin right there, which we're gonna drive through with a punch. Just get on there, make a few light taps, and she's gonna pop right out. That's out. Now your top cover, just come right up and off. Your feed tray is also just right in line there, so that just lifts right off as well. All right, now the fire control group is actually held on by a very similar pin system. The first part is actually accessed through the opposite side though, so we'll spin that around. You can just see it in there. If I get the lighting just right, you can kind of see the tip of that pin, which I have to push forward and then down. There we go, it's popped out. So now this will come up and out. That falls through. And now again, we're gonna pop out this pin right here as well. And the whole assembly just lifts right up and off. And there's actually the rest of our trigger mechanism. All right, and this is actually, well, this piece right here is essentially, well, typically your sear. It didn't need to come out. It just kind of fell out when I was disassembling the lower there, removing the lower from the gun because this pin fell out, which normally stays back in there like that. And that's where this little cross pin hooks in, like so. But yeah, normally, and then this here is actually your trigger mechanism. This is your trigger bar. All right, guys, that's it for the trigger mechanism. We're not going to take that down any further. And then this is your bolt here. So I'll just show you really quickly. To disassemble this, you're going to spin off the back. Again, this is the semi-automatic version. It's a little bit different than your full auto, and it's actually got the. It's actually quite a bit different. The firing pin is all into this little preloaded unit here. I'll explain this more again, how the semi-automatic unit functions in the main overview. This slides off, and then basically that's it. There's your bolt. You can see your two forward lugs here. There's your extractor, your ejector, and the firing pin hole is clear because again, your firing pin is a separate unit and it's spring-loaded. So again, it works with a really unique little mechanism in there that works in conjunction with this extension bar on the trigger mechanism here. It's pretty neat. Again, I'll go into that in more detail in the overview. Anyways, guys, that's the gun disassembled. I'm gonna kind of rearrange things here so I can grab that thumbnail for you all. But I've still got the bonus gun coming up. However, first, a quick message from me. Guys, if you like my content, I've got 5 things for you. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, and follow me on Instagram at arm.and.gun. Definitely appreciate that. I post there every day. Stories, behind the scenes action, posts, sexy guns, all the good stuff. If you guys want to support the channel, the best way is to share my content, and I got some links in the description below, some affiliate stuff, so if you like any of those products down there, there's coffee, there's lights, there's holsters, and there's sweet gear from UF Pro. If you like that stuff, just hit on those links, go support them, and indirectly supports me in the channel here. I'm also on Patreon as well, so you can check that out there as well. Without further ado, here is your bonus gun. As promised, we have another Beltfed. This is the MG34. I just finished up a full video series on it. I'm not even going to show you the full thing because I can't get it in frame, but it is a good time. And I have a full video series live on this thing, shooting, disassembly, and your gun 101 overview. We have this thing on a tripod. It was a ton of fun. Really good time. Go check it out. World War II gun that led to the MG42, which inspired the M60. Cool stuff. Kind of relevant. I just actually thought of that right now. It was totally not planned. Anyways, guys, that's it. Thanks a ton. Catch you on the next one. Arm&Gun out.